We're almost 25 hours into the NBA free agency. It's been crazy so far. Now what about the Jazz? We have some Jazz news to talk about. Andy Larsen, KSL.com. Eric Woodyard, Deseret News here to help us answer some of those questions. Before we get to the Jazz news, though, your thoughts on LeBron as a Laker?
Still shocking, right? I mean, to really imagine LeBron James playing in a Los Angeles Laker uniform, the yellow and the gold. And it is weird that he is joining such a young, incomplete team, but with a 4-year contract, maybe they can make it work.
$154 million makes him feel a lot better, huh?
Man, I like it. I actually like it. I think it's a great move for him at this stage of his career. I mean, you consider his family, his son, you know, is coming up and just ending his career in front of the LA Lights and, you know, starting a new chapter of his life.
Yeah, he's moving on to bigger and better things outside of basketball. I don't think he wants to bang his head for the next 4 or 5 years trying to beat those Golden State Warriors. But now to the Jazz. There was some news tonight. There was multiple reports that Derek Favors met in Atlanta with Dennis Lindsey, Quinn Snyder, Tony Lang. He's going to make a decision tomorrow. Both of you guys will get your thoughts. Eric first. Do you think Derek Favors chooses Utah based on what you're hearing? I think
he would. I would be shocked if he doesn't. You know, I heard, you know, from a source that he had a few different meetings. I'm not sure with what teams, you know, but I was heard that he had a few team meetings, and I would be shocked, you know, just based on the loyalty factor. He's the longest tenured guy here, what he was able to accomplish, the style they allow him to play here. You know, I just think he fits in well, and I'm not sure, you know, what the market is for him and somewhere else, plus his role somewhere else with the way the league is changing.
Yeah, there may be those meetings that he's having with other teams, but really it's only those other teams can offer the mid-level exception, only $8 to $9 million. The Jazz, because Favors has been on the team for so long, they can offer him 12, 15, even $18 million, somewhere in that range, and make it worthwhile.
More news, Thabo Sefolosha. Jazz had the option whether to let him go or keep him. Now we know, right?
Yeah, I like it for him. He's
staying here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's guaranteed. So I think he's such a great veteran leader for the team. I mean, I feel like the guys feed off of him. Donovan is obviously influenced by him, I mean, which obviously means something here. So, yeah, definitely, I see why they would guarantee that it's bigger than basketball.
And, Eric, you like that the Jazz are Thabo around?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think...
sorry, Andy.
You're good.
Hello.
I think, you know, he is such a good defender. Last year, he had one of the best years of his career. It just makes so much sense to keep him in. It's a good deal for the Utah Jazz, too, at only about $5 million.
What's intriguing to me is we didn't see Thabo with the improved Jazz. He got hurt right before they made that big run. It'll be interesting to see what his defensive presence can do with this team if he is 100% healthy when he gets back.
You look at what you need in the playoffs, though, and Thabo brings a lot of that kind of thing. With
How much would Houston like to have Thabo Sefolosha now that they've lost Trevor Ariza?
Yeah.
And the mentorship, too. The mentorship factor. He's played with so many different stars, from Derrick Rose to, you know, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. I think that's such a big thing in this league, and it's not a lot of mentors in the league.
Donovan Mitchell gave him a lot of credit last year for what he learned from Thabo Sefolosha. That was an underrated element in Donovan's development.
Jazz still have some unfinished business with their players at home. Let's start with Dante Exum. You got to figure out what they're going to do with him.
Yeah, he's a restricted free agent, and so, you know, the Jazz have the ability to match whatever contract he'd be offered. And again, there are so few teams with real cap space in this market that I don't think that any team will offer him something crazy. Maybe one of those teams that might have, the Phoenix Suns, just offer their money to Trevor Ariza. So there may be an opportunity for the Jazz to keep Dante for the medium term, at least, for relatively cheaply.
And more than just the money, Eric, he's been injured so much. The Jazz really don't want to give up on him until they can see a full season healthy what he can do, right?
Definitely. I mean, he's a lottery pick, so, I mean, it's a project. You know, they still want to see what he can bring. We saw flashes. You know, he checked James Harden great in the playoffs for a game or two, you know, and I think the verdict is still to be out on what Dante Exum is in the NBA. So, I mean, it's like investing all that in him, and then, you know, they really want to see the finished product.
Yeah, the Jazz lost a lot of games just to get a chance to draft him. They want to see it through. We went through that era. We remember that.
What are you insinuating?
I think we all know what happened that year. Let's not be ignorant. All right, Howell Meadow, solid backup point guard. Do you guys think he'll be back?
You know, I still think it's 50-50. You know, I think that he is a great third point guard. He fits the roster well. You know, great friends with Rudy Gobert. I do think that if the Jazz had the opportunity to upgrade that spot with someone with who is either better or had more potential, a top-level potential, they would do it. But, you know, Howell Meadow, obviously still a great fit, and I do think you could sign him for, you know, something like $2 million and, you know, be a relative bargain.
You say a third point guard, but is Dante going to be your backup point guard? And are you comfortable with that, Eric?
And that's what I mean, also bringing in Grayson Allen too. So it's also it's slim on that second unit. You know, as far as what Howell Meadow is going to bring back. I mean, but a good sign. He's been around the practice facility. He's been shooting. I mean, that's a good sign. You know that things are going well so far.
All right, so really the Jazz are left with a full mid-level exception to offer somebody out there, and the list of free agents, that pool is really getting thin, Andy. Who are some of the names? I guess we'd start with Jabari Parker, a restricted free agent that a lot of Jazz fans have some interest in. Is there any chance they would throw that full mid-level at him and try to pry him away from the Bucks?
I mean, there's a chance, and I'm really curious to see if the Milwaukee Bucks would match an offer like that, because there have been rumors about whether or not he and the Bucks are going to be future partners, just because of that relationship has been a little bit iffy. On the other hand, maybe the Jazz don't want to give a long-term contract to a guy who's had 2 ACL surgeries and then might be fighting with his own teammates. You know, something that has made the Jazz really special is this kind of culture and community feel around the team. So Jabari has the upside. There's no question about it, but there's a lot of risk there too.
And guys, when we're talking about mid-level exception, what kind of money are we talking about?
It's about $8.5–9 million per season.
And Jabari would work for that?
I don't, you know, I think he can get a better offer probably from the Chicago Bulls or, you know, his hometown team, somewhere around the league. But, you know, there's just, again, not that many teams with cap space out there.
We're hearing Trevor Booker is having some communication. Could we see Trevor Booker in a Jazz uniform? We don't love it in the media. Trevor's great, but does it fit on the court, guys?
He's a great tweeter.
Yeah, he is. He also, you know, him and Quinn Snyder are close. You know, they were texting all last year and staying in touch. And I mean, obviously he had a journeyman year, 3 different teams in 1 year. So I mean, I think he would fit in. I mean, he's tough, hard-nosed guy. He played here before a couple seasons. So
What is he down to? 34% three-point shooting last year, though?
That's the problem, Andy. That's what I look at from an analytics standpoint. I don't know that this is a good fit on the court.
I'm not sure.
Aaron Gordon re-signed with Orlando. There were some rumors that he might be linked to the Jazz. Was there any serious consideration there, guys?
I'm not sure.
Not at the money that he got. I mean, getting an $84 million contract from the Orlando Magic, just the Jazz would have had to renounce Derek Favors and Dante Exum and 4 other guys, including Thabo Sefolosha, to get to there. There's just no way that was going to happen.
No, not seriously.
Any other names out there that maybe the Jazz could
I want to
pursue?
bring this one up.
Okay.
And this is intriguing. The Jazz need scoring punch.
They need three-point shooting.
They do. J.J. Redick.
Obviously, it's that Duke connection. You know, Coach Snyder love those shooters, and he's obviously.
I mean, is that a serious consideration, you think?
Look, I haven't heard anything that says J.J. Redick and tying them to the Utah Jazz, but
Let's
I think
start something.
As a fit,
Come on, guys,
I think
tweet something out.
You're absolutely right. Like as a fit, you know, the
yeah.
Jazz could use that shooting. The Jazz
If you
could use
tweet
that
something
experience.
out and you say, "Hey, J.J. Redick be a pretty good fit,"
They go crazy.
what do you think?
Andy Larsen
Then everybody will get on board.
I'll leave that up to y'all, man. I ain't gonna.
No. Hey, I'm not a good tweeter. You guys are the tweet kings, man. So, Marcus Smart.
Yeah, another restricted free agent and another guy who would be a tremendous fit in Quinn Snyder's defensive system. Again, can't shoot worth a lick, so may not fit around Rudy Gobert and all these guys. One guy maybe I do have in mind and that the Jazz really have had interest in is Nemanja Bjelica from Minnesota. He is a very good shooter, plays that 3-4 role, can pass the ball a little bit, and is really good friends with some of the Jazz, including Ricky Rubio.
Yeah.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Jazz going to make a trade for a mid-level guy that can shoot. Do you think they'll do that? Yes or no?
Yes.
I think
Maybe not a trade.
maybe not a trade, but maybe a sign. Yeah, and I think
Okay.
they want to see too what's going to happen first with the favor situation. That's what I would suggest. You know, to get that situation.
So after
handled
tomorrow,
first.
things could start in motion. All right, guys, we'll see you at Summer League. Should be fun to see how Grayson Allen does.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the whole entire team. You know, they have a nice with Nas Mitrou-Long and George Niang and you know Grayson Allen,
Tony Bradley
Creed,
getting a chance.
Tony Bradley. Yeah, it's a lot of good storylines.
Bradley's gonna get
All right,
some.
guys, see you at the arena tomorrow.
See.